All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Thank you for starting your morning and your week off with me. I am JD, your digital marketing and technologies manager, and welcome to our June edition of the Digital Accelerator Informational. What we are doing here today is giving an overview of what our Digital Accelerator program is. So this is we are well into, I want to say, our third year now of Digital Accelerator, which is crazy because I feel like I remember when we just started and it was fresh and new. And what's really cool to me is that we have had people sign up in that first month or two who are still here, part of the program today, that many years later, which is just awesome. So basically what I really want to do today, I want to be really respectful of your guys' time, and I really want to give you an overview of what this program is, what it does, and who a good candidate for it is. And really what the value for this program is for you as an agent, because we all know that right now the market is a lot different than it was a year or two ago. It's not necessarily a lot crazier or worse, or obviously a lot crazier or better, but it's just different. And what that requires is making sure that you are marketing, that you're doing something different, because a lot of people are pulling back right now, which means that you have an opportunity to make sure that you are out there serving your markets and putting yourself out there. Well, I have a couple of testimonials that I oftentimes like to share. I don't know if I'm gonna actually. I'll make sure I'll pull them up for right now. But one of my favorite testimonials that I've had different variations of. I had one 2 or 3 years ago, or no, one a couple of years ago, and we had one actually just the last week or 2 weeks ago, where someone said, "I see, some variation of I see your stuff everywhere. I go on Facebook, I go on Google, I go on Instagram, and I see you, this agent. I saw her everywhere. I see her everywhere." And that's the goal. What because ultimately, what Digital Accelerator is a digital marketing program. Um, so let's buckle in. Let's talk about at its core what Digital Accelerator is and what it can do for you. And then we'll talk about what the different program levels are, what each program offers line by line. And then we'll kind of wrap with, what who a good candidate is and kind of how to get started. So, like I said, at its core, what Digital Accelerator is a digital marketing and technologies program. Now, the base of where we're going to spend a lot of our time today, our base camp, unsurprisingly, is Schmidt Resources. I'm going to put this link in the chat here so we all have access to it. But it is schmidtresources.com or whatever brand you are, CB, C21, or Elite Sotheby's. There's a DAP Square on all of your sites, Digital Accelerator program. And you'll see right here, disclaimer, this is not a lead generation program. This is a digital marketing and technologies program. And although leads are included, they're only 10% of the value. If you're looking for a lead gen program, this program is not for you. Now, it's funny because Tracy Bachgalupi, our president of marketing, she and I argue about this all the time. If it were up to her, we would actually remove leads from the program as one of the value adds. I am the reason that we still have them here because it is a very good value add. But we do want to make it clear that this isn't a lead gen program. We offer, we're able to generate leads when we're effective with the rest of the program. But what this really is about is getting you and your branding and your face out there in your community so that you are recognized as a realtor, as people recognize you as an expert in the field that you operate. So many times I go on somebody's social media, on a business page, on Instagram, on Facebook, whatever, and I see a lot of properties. I scroll and scroll through properties or an article here or there, but what I don't see is you. I don't see the agent. I don't see your face, your headshot, videos from you. That's what I don't see. And at the end of the day, the properties, the listings are going to come and go. They're the product that you are helping your clients buy and sell. But you, the agent, are the bedrock of your business. You are what needs to be front and center. And if I don't get to know you, if I'm a potential buyer or seller, if I'm trying to say, oh, if someone gave me a referral, if Nicole said, oh, you should work with Sarah, JD, Sarah's great, you'd love working with her, and I go to Sarah's social media and I see Sarah nowhere, how am I going to get to know Sarah? How am I going to feel like, oh yeah, she's a great fit for me? Oh, I feel like I've gotten to know her a little bit, or she's this or that. I'm not going to have any semblance of what it's like to work with her. So I'm going to have no idea if I want to or not, because all I see are the homes. That's going to be a nice indicator, but I'm not going to know if I actually want to work with Sarah or not. So what's important is when you're marketing online, when you're marketing digitally, you're not just marketing your properties. That's an aspect of it, but you are what we're marketing. We're marketing the agent. We're marketing your expertise, your knowledge, and putting you front and center. So I'm going to scroll past this. We'll go back up to it a little bit. But we have a section here on this page where we literally try to spell out what Digital Accelerator is. What DAP is, it's a digital, DAP stands for Digital Accelerator Program. It's a mouthful, so we like to say DAP, but it's about 50% of it is focused on brand reputation. And that's kind of what I was just kind of talking about. 50% of it is focused on you, how you are viewed by the consumer digitally. Anytime you are referred to somebody, someone says, oh, you should have worked with JD, or oh, have you heard about JD? Business card is handed out. You are automatically vetted online. The first thing someone does when you are referred is they Google you, or they check you out on social media, and they scroll through your social, or they scroll and look for you on Google. And that is step one. Do they trust you? Do they feel like your digital footprint is vetted? Do they feel confident to do business with you? So this is where I'll loop back around to this in a moment here. This is where you work closely with your digital marketer and your designer to build these assets and to make it about you. This is really where Digital Accelerator shines and separates itself from a lot of other digital marketing programs that are being marketed towards you as an agent in your career right now. And about 40% of it is also focused, of course, on marketing your listings, solds, open houses, local market stats, which are huge right now. Agent videos, you putting yourself front and center in videos, again, marketing you as the agent. This is the content that you're responsible to deliver. We'll talk about that as we go. But that's about 40% of it is about marketing your listings, right? Marketing the actual product, if you will. And then, of course, the final part we mentioned earlier on, about 10%. That's it. One out of every 10 things, give or take, is actually focused on lead opportunities. And this paragraph here is really important. Everything on this page, of course, is important. That's why it's here in the first place. But when we are effective let me see if I can zoom in here. When we are effective with the above two primary areas of focus, this is what generates lead opportunities. And I want to stress this a lot because we're going to loop all these pieces come together in a puzzle. When we are effective with the above two primary areas of focus, this is what generates lead opportunities. You'll see up here, this is the content you are responsible for delivering to your digital marketer. So when we move on in a little bit, we're going to talk a lot about collaboration. And when we talk about collaboration, we're going to talk about what we are responsible to deliver to you as the agent and the client, but also what we ask of you to make sure we can do our jobs effectively. But if we don't have that collaboration, that synergy, we can't be effective with part 3 here, with the lead opportunities. But when we are effective with those things, we can generate lead opportunities. And these are consumers who have expressed some type of interest in a home, selling a home, or learning more about what you and your brand have to offer. Now, remembering the lead is unqualified consumer, which means you must be savvy in working these opportunities through the sales cycle to convert them to a prospect, potential customer, et cetera. Basically, working them from someone who's inquired about a service all the way through to somebody who is ready to sell their property or buy their home. Lead generation, of course, is heavily reliant on listings. Listings are the number one source of leads. But if listings aren't something you or your office has right now, we can do some amazing branding focused ad campaigns. And frankly, those are some of my favorite campaigns that we do because they're all about you. What makes you unique? What helps? What sets you apart as an agent? And when you go on social media, when I turn my phone on, I'm scrolling on Facebook or Instagram, and those are the ads I see. Those are the things that really, again, stand out and separate you from the rest of the pack. So that in a nutshell is what this program is about. It's about focusing on you, what makes you unique. It's about focusing on your listings and generating massive amounts of buzz around you and your properties, making sure that you are out there. And then, of course, when we can do all those things, lead opportunities are what follows. We're able to generate leads, put those right into your CRM, and you are able to then put those into drip campaigns and follow up on those leads. So that, again, that's an overview of what we try to accomplish in this program. And kind of circling back up to that number 1 section, 50% of this program is focused on brand reputation. One of the things that I want to focus on for a moment here is what sets Digital Accelerator apart from a lot of other digital marketing programs, because I've been here for almost 7 years now. I get the emails that you guys as agents get. It's probably less than you do, but we all get so many emails about other digital marketing programs that are, hey, we'll do this many ads for you a month, or we'll post to your social media this many times a month, and we'll do this. But at the same time, you got to remember they're emailing 1,000 other agents or every other agent in your office or whatever. And I've studied these programs. We studied these programs for a while. Tracy and I did before we built Digital Accelerator. We study them all the time now to see what, for lack of a better word, the competition is. And here's one thing I've seen time and time again with almost all of these programs out there. And I like to focus on different aspects of these every time we do an informational. Wow, it's still Monday brain. Do an informational. But here's what I want to focus on today. Almost every other digital marketing program that you're being marketed through email that they want you to sign up for, they're all plug and play. So if three agents in an office, and I've seen this happen very, very directly from the same agents in the exact same offices, they're all plug and play. So three agents in the same office sign up for the exact same program. The ads that they do or the posts that they do, they have templates. They pop your little headshot across the top. They put your name across the top, and it's the exact same ad with one headshot difference. What we're doing here in Digital Accelerator is we're building completely different content. If you join any of these programs, the content is going to be built different for you versus agent B versus agent C. We're using a lot of the same tools, we're leveraging a lot of the same stuff, and you might look at something and go, oh, I like the look of that. I want my stuff to look similar to that. We're never ever going to copy something that we've done for somebody else because that's their thing. And we're never going to copy your thing for somebody else because that's your thing. But we're going to say, hey, you like the look of that? Okay, we can do something similar but different for you. But it's never going to be copy and paste. We're never going to go, this is our template, splat, 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 boom, on to the next thing. A lot of other digital marketing programs are that. They're copy and paste, they're templated, they are plug and play. When you do Digital Accelerator, when we're talking about brand reputation and branding social and digital marketing campaigns, they're unique to you. Every agent is different. Every region is different. What we're going to do for an agent in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan is going to be vastly different than the Cleveland market, than US Virgin Islands, than Vero Beach versus Punta Gorda versus St. Augustine. And part of what makes that even more unique versus just having these plug and play is that when you do Digital Accelerator, you get partnered with a point person in the digital marketing team. So this is, again, another differentiator. Now, I know a couple of them are on the call. I'm not going to make them unmute and my mouse to work here, unmute and share the screens for a second, say hi. But I do want to share with you on Schmidt Resources that on our in your marketing group, you can go here and you can see your digital marketing team. Myself excluded, there are 6 other people on our digital marketing team here. Nicole, Lindsay, Susie, Mia, Mara, Sarah. The 6 of them, when you sign up for Digital Accelerator or Ignite, you get partnered with one of them as your point person. So you might come on and say, kind of go through the ringer and you're like, yep, I'm going to do Digital Accelerator. And I might go, okay, you know what? Mara's going to be your point person. You work with Mara. You have monthly calls with her. You email her directly. You text her work number and you email her. She's the person that is working on your content. She is the person that you are communicating with. It's not a form. It's not a chat bubble on a support call or something like that. It's a specific human. And what's great is that we all are connected in our marketing group system. So if Mara's out sick or if she's on vacation or if something happens, our entire team is able to step in and help at any point. So if Mara's out on vacation and you need something done and you reach out to me or you reach out to Nicole, everything's going to be done right away. That's the beauty of how our team works internally, is that we all have access and can all get things done right away. So our whole team is basically running this entire ship together. But what's so cool is that again, it's not a form, it's not a checklist where you go, I'm interested in, indoor interior decoration and gardening and hunting and running. And then we just randomly pick stuff based off of those checklists. No, you sit down and in your onboarding call with your marketer and you get to know each other and they go, okay, this is what your style is like. This is what the kind of, your content is like. Let's make sure that we're building stuff that makes sense for you. So that already sets this program vastly apart, is that it's not plug and play. It's unique to you and you're working with a specific person to make sure the content is special to you. So before we get into the actual program levels and what each different package, so to speak, offers, do you have any questions about what Digital Accelerator is and what Digital Accelerator is not? Okay, great. Well, let's keep going. Goes out saying this is being recorded. We'll have this up on Schmidt Resources, so don't worry about that. But let's talk about what levels we have now. As we've mentioned, this is a digital marketing program. So it probably makes sense that some of your digital marketing platforms need to be set up in order for this to work. So we have a couple of options here. So the first thing we have is what we call getting started. And I know I'm going in a little bit reverse here, but I want to start with getting started. So all of our programs are a month-to-month package that you pay, of course, month-to-month for. But before those, we have one package here called Getting Started that is actually only a one-time fee. Because in order for Digital Accelerator to work, we need to make sure that you have platforms that are set up and ready to go. If we're going to be running ads on social media for you, we need to make sure you have social media platforms set up to run ads from. If we're going to be running ads or running Google ads that direct people to your website, you want to make sure that your website looks good and that you're able to, that when people go there, it's set up correctly. When we run lead ads, we want to make sure that the leads are set up to go into your CRM, into Moxie Engage. So some people come and they're like, hey, I've got all that ready. I've got my CRM set up. I've got my business page set up. I just need it to be run for me. And we go, awesome, great, let's do it. But some people come in and they go, hey, you know what? I have a business page, but I haven't used it in years. I don't have an Instagram account. I don't even know what Google Business is, and I haven't logged into Moxie in 18 months. So what we have is a getting started package. Now, getting started is a one-time fee associated with a monthly package. And getting started is basically where we're going to go in and either set up or refresh all of those accounts for you. So we're going to set up a business Facebook account, set up a business Facebook page, a business Instagram account. We're going to set up a Google business listing to make sure testimonial tree is set up, a company Moxie homepage. So not an entire, 8, 9, 10 page website, but make sure that you have a custom Moxie web page homepage on your website. If you have a custom domain that you've purchased, like, jdwaldvogel.com or johnsmithsellshomes.com or your local realtor, we're going to make sure that's connected to Moxie properly, make sure listings to leads is set up, and then we're going to make sure that we've given you an overview of a couple of our other cool tools. I always hate saying that, cool tools that we have, so that when we start Digital Accelerator, you're good to go. Now that's $100. It's a one-time fee, just so that when we do start social presence, web presence plus or premium, you're all good to go. That you have all of the things set up so that we can execute on these programs appropriately. So that one is a take it or leave it. You don't need to do getting started. If you have everything set up, you're ready to get going right away. I'd say it's probably roughly 50-50 that people do need getting started or don't. And then social presence, web presence, people go right into those. Now, what was interesting is that a lot of people came in saying, I really want getting started, but I don't feel like I need Digital Accelerator right now. I don't think I need the month-to-month package, or I want to do the getting started, but I might not want to do DAP for another 6 months or for another year. Maybe I'll do it down the road, but just not right now. So what we did, we listened to that. We're listening and changing some of these packages all the time as we move forward. We took DAP, or we took the getting started package, and we created what's called Ignite. So you can see that right here at the top. Ignite is exactly the same as getting started. The only difference is that it's a one-time purchase. It is not associated with Digital Accelerator, any monthly program. You can click on the Ignite package here. It's going to take you to the marketplace, and you can literally put it in your cart and purchase it, or check out and purchase it right here. The Ignite program is exactly the same as getting started, as the exact same features. The only difference is that you're not doing it with a Digital Accelerator program. You're not saying, oh, yep, and then after I finish getting started, I'm going to go and do a monthly program. That's the only difference. Now, we have had people do Ignite and say, hey, I liked this so much, I think I want to do Digital Accelerator now, which is awesome. That's freaking the best thing that could happen, right? That you loved working with your marketer so much that you want to do it now. So you'll see here that the Ignite program is $50 more than the Getting Started. Getting Started is $100 because it's associated with DAP. Ignite is $150. That being said, if you decide that you want to do DAP at any point after Ignite, you will get $50 off your first month of Digital Accelerator. So you'll never end up paying the extra $50 if you've done Ignite in the past. So if you do Ignite and then you end up doing DAP, you'll get $50 off then. If you do Getting Started and Ignite that, or Getting Started in Digital Accelerator back to back, you'll start with $50 off. You're getting started. So I know that that's a lot of words back to back that even I got jumbled up, but essentially you'll never overpay for the getting started if you just do Ignite early on. Now you can see here that we have a note here, and we have it all in bold. This Ignite program has gone gangbusters, which is fantastic. Better that than not. So one of the things that I have wanted to make clear, because we had one person ask about this once, the last thing I want people to feel with something like Ignite is that it's like, get them in the door, get them out the door, right? We don't want like, yep, we started them, we've wrapped it up, we ended them, we're out. We try, Ignite takes roughly 30 days from start to finish. If you onboard, if you today's what, the 19th, if you onboarded today, by July 19th, give or take, as long as you're responding appropriately and we're doing our end of the deal, from June 19th, it's going to be around July 19th that you're going to be all set. Because of everybody who's been wanting to do it, we're right now roughly booked out about 2 to 4 weeks, honestly, closer to the 3 to 4 weeks than the 2 right now. So if you were to purchase Ignite today, we actually did have someone purchase today. Normally within about a week, I'm going to give you a call and talk about things, or email you if we've already talked fairly recently beforehand, and we'll get it scheduled out so that you're on the calendar, when you're going to be, you're going to be starting. But we are that far out right now, just because I don't want you to feel like it's, like I don't want anyone to feel rushed. I want to make sure that our team has the time to make sure that we're taking care of our clients appropriately, but two, more importantly, that you feel while you're in Ignite that you are being taken care of and that you are being treated the way that we're treating you internally, which is with the care of, I want to set up this person's site perfectly for them. I want their social to be set up exactly the way that they want it to be. I feel like I heard someone speaking. Are there any questions about Ignite?
Hey, JD.
Yes, sir.
It's Randy. I have a question for you as an office manager.
Yes.
And I bring in new people.
Yes.
I think that both of this and DAP, I think, are invaluable to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But as a new manager, or as a new person coming in, would you suggest I just have them call marketing for an interview to see what is most appropriate for them?
That's a great question. Yeah. So I've had different managers kind of do that differently, because to speak to that a little bit, I think you're absolutely right. I've had different managers say, like, I think Ignite is a great product for any new agent. When we start to get into the package levels themselves here, we've specifically talked about how social presence is also a great package for new agents. Once we kind of get up into the higher levels, that might not be ready for that's better for more seasoned agents, even a year or so in.
Right.
I've talked to new agents in the past week or two who do not need DAP or who do not need Ignite at all. Like, they're like gangbusters. They know exactly what they're doing. So I would say it's kind of, it might be agent by agent. I don't think it's a bad idea, but what I would hate to see is an agent come in and be like, oh, I have all these things, I don't need all these things. So maybe I think what I would maybe say, here's the only other caveat, and because it's only, how my brain works, it goes a million miles a minute. I've also had managers sign agents up for Ignite, either on their behalf or recommend them to do it within their first 2 or 3 weeks of being an agent with the company. And I reach out and call them. Actually, this happened 2 weeks ago, actually, with an agent. And they were so overwhelmed by onboarding and everything happening that it felt like an extra thing in the fire hose. So I almost think that it might be worth maybe mentioning to an agent, and then either bringing back up maybe a month down the road, or passing it off to us and just say, hey, can you reach out to this agent in a month to see if they're interested in it? Because I don't want it to get lost in just the shuffle of onboarding, because it can be a lot. But I also know, I completely agree, it's super invaluable, and it's a great thing for them to get as a new agent, to feel so set up and ready to attack the business. So I don't think there's a wrong way to do it. Ultimately, I think the only thing I've seen happen is that it gets lost in the shuffle, and that's what I wouldn't want to happen.
I think you're absolutely right, because that onboarding is, they're drinking from a fire hose.
That's just on full blast.
Yeah, and to put that in there too is, I think, the way I will approach it in the future
Yeah.
is I will put it into their checklist of things to do, maybe after a couple of weeks, and
Yeah.
then sit down and talk with them and say, hey, listen, you need to get into this digital accelerator
Yeah.
program, because it's absolutely one of the best things they can do as a new agent to make sure
Right.
they're set up correctly.
I agree. I think that's a great way to do it. And that way, things have already settled down a little bit. they're kind of ready to kind of start the business side of things. It's not paperwork. It's not understanding, app files and things like that. It's like, okay, I'm ready to start really
Yep.
do things. Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks, JD.
Of course. Yeah. Any other questions so far? Awesome. Okay. Well, like I said, so I think that's the only thing I want to make clear about Ignite right now is that I have been so like I'm blown away, like in the best way possible, by how many people have been excited about this. So just as either managers or as agents, setting the expectations that I will always reach out within that first week, but that we will put you on the schedule for a little bit down the road, making so that we all know when we're ready to kind of start that program. So that's the getting started. That's the Ignite part. And the last thing I'll say with Ignite is that with getting started, you kind of segue from getting started into Digital Accelerator into one of the monthly programs. But with Ignite, we have a really cool kind of like take home thing, if you will, that you have an onboarding call with your digital marketer where we kind of talk about the program, get you set up. And then you have an offboarding where we'll sit down and go, okay, so here's your site, here's your social media, here's your Google business, here's all this stuff. And then here's a few pages of some tips and tricks and best practices so that it's not just like, okay, here's your stuff back, bye, and you walk out the door. It's here's your stuff back, here's how to best use it and to get, to really take advantage of it. And if you have questions about it, let us know. So it's not just kicking out the door and, don't let it hit you on the way out. It's, if you have questions, let us know, but make sure you're leveraging this stuff appropriate, in the best way possible. So let's talk about the programs real quick. We've got Social Web Plus and Premium. Now they're all at a monthly cost here. They're all month to month. What sets this apart too from a lot of other programs is that one, you'll never ever pay a penny more. Like these are all set in stone. But two, these all include ad spend. So a lot of programs I see are one or the other. They're either we'll do an ad or two a month for you, or we'll do social media posting for you, but no advertising. I've literally seen programs that are about $400 a month. I'm not kidding you, that all they do is post to your Facebook page. Not Facebook, and some are Facebook and Instagram, but they're just posting. There's no advertising, no sponsored posts, just content. So already, you guys know how wonderful the Schmidt kind of companies are, the Schmidts themselves, but trying to keep these prices down as best as possible while still making sure that what we're doing is as effective as we can for you. Because what we don't want to do is keep the prices down, but have the ads be ineffective. We want to make sure that what we're doing is actually effective for you and actually building your business. This is a business-oriented digital marketing program. So let's start here. The social presence program, it's $250 a month. And this one is really, really geared, unsurprisingly, due to the title, towards social media. 4 to 5 posts per week on Facebook business and 2 to 3 posts per week on Instagram. So those are just the natural, they're called native posts, organic posts. That means they're not ads, they're not campaigns or sponsored. They're just making sure that there is content going out on your social media. It's the Instagram posts, and then about 3 or so posts on the business Facebook page are going to be custom graphics or your listings. And then normally 1 or 2 of those posts a week are going to be articles or local events based off of what you've shared with us. Again, the more that you're able to communicate and collaborate, the more custom and unique it's going to be toward you. Making sure your Google business listing is up to date. Now, what a Google business listing is hold on, see if I can, I think I turned mine off, which is why. Here we go. What a Google business listing is this right here. I Googled my name right here, JD Waldvogel, and this is a Google business listing right here. So it's not an ad. It's not a Google ad. It's not sponsored or money that I'm paying for. But when I Googled my name, this is what came up. It's not just a list, like a normal thing while I'm searching. You can see my name here. It's my photo, an old photo. It's my area, my title, my hours of operation, phone number, website, all of my business information here. So, if you already have this set up, great. If you don't, we're going to set it up for you through Ignite or getting started. But we're also in all of our programs, including, whoops, wrong page. There are all the pretty faces of our whole team here. Which, by the way, we all help out with this stuff. I don't want to say it's just the digital team, but if you've worked with any of our team before, if you've worked with Corey before, and then all of a sudden you're working with Mara and the digital marketing team, we're going to be talking with Corey and making sure that he is that we're working off the stuff that he's provided before, so that your marketing is consistent across print and consistent across digital. We just had a case of that last week, so I wanted to give that shout out that it's important that your stuff is consistent across every medium. So again, I know that's a far tangent, but it's important that I say that. So we're going to make sure that your Google business listing is maintained at all times. So if you have a new headshot you want to use, if you have updated website, or whatever, we're going to update that. And then we're going to get down here to the advertising. So when you have listings, or if we're leveraging an office listing, we'll talk about that towards the end. We're going to have custom landing pages created for those properties, and then we're going to leverage up to 2 targeted social media ad campaigns a month. So that could be a listing campaign, that could be a branding campaign. It could be one of each, but we're going to work with you each month as your digital marketer to decide what your goals are for that month, or what we recommend as your digital marketing specialist, to make sure that we're accomplishing the goals you are trying to accomplish. Now you'll see some of our asterisks down here. None of them are crazy, but like we've said, one, all advertising spend is included. You're never going to spend a penny more. Number 2, lead opportunities are based on listings provided by clients. So again, we'll talk about listings towards the end here. If you have listings you can provide, whether they're yours or they are an office listing that you have permission to use, that is going to make or break the quantity of the leads. Now, we can do lead gen ads that are not based off of listings, but generally speaking, we've been doing this for a lot of years. They're not as fruitful quantity wise as they are when we have listings to leverage. And we'll talk about the Zoom sessions towards the end, but we do ask for 1 Zoom call a month. We'll talk about that as we get going. So that's the social presence, social media posting, making sure your Google business listing is up to date, and then running up to 2 ad campaigns a month. Now we're going to move over to the web presence. You'll see that the web, there's a big jump in price in the web presence and the plus and premium. And that's because that the web presence actually does not is all Google focused. So you'll see here that the web presence is not social media. So social presence and web presence are kind of like 2 halves of I don't know, of the ball, and then the plus and premium are kind of like both halves put together. So the web presence is all about websites and Google. So on the website, so the web presence is full Moxie website management. We're going to do a custom homepage, a custom search pages and community pages and other sorts of content. I was just talking to an agent last week who was thinking about doing a web presence program, and we were talking about maybe having this, creating something like a frequently asked questions page, like top 6 most asked questions from clients, or something like that. I thought, hey, that's genius, because that's something that great content for you to have on your page. But basically, a web presence is going to be all about your website, making sure testimonial tree is completely configured and your testimonials are coming over and feeding to your homepage if you want them there, and on an extra page. Making sure Google Screened is something that you have set up if you want. A Google Screen is something we can talk about kind of another time. It's a newer advertising format from Google. It's something that we've tried time and time again. We tried just as recently as I think earlier this year to see if we could do it again. But it's a new ad format that looks really cool, but we cannot do it on your behalf because it requires a background check and your insurance information. Because basically it's Google saying, hey, this realtor, we as Google are saying, Randy, this agent is awesome, and we've screened him and we have a green check mark. But in order for Google to sign off on you for that, they need to make sure that that you are vetted and stuff. So we'll discuss that with you if it's something that you're interested in paying for and doing on the side. But then what web presence is really about, like I said, it's about doing a Google search ad and doing 24/7 Google ad campaign for direct website traffic, going straight to your website, leading people to you. And that's why this package is a bit of a jump price-wise, is because Google ads have a higher price point than social media ads on Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, WhatsApp, etc. And we've wanted to make sure we had a big discussion about this, making sure that the ads that we're doing are effective. So the web presence is a bit higher to make sure that our ad campaigns are kicking butt and are as effective as possible. So the social presence is all about making sure your social media is great. The web presence is making sure your website and your web traffic is great. And then we've got the Plus program, which is basically both of those put together, the web presence and the social presence, all in one with a little bit more. So if we look at the Plus program here, we've got the 4 to 5 weekly posts on Facebook, the 2 to 3 weekly posts on Instagram, the Google business listing maintenance, the Google Screened, making sure your website is fully set up and managed. And then we also throw in, we have a newsletter that we'll work on with you through Moxie, a really beautiful custom and curated newsletter, with your branding, making it look the way you want it to look, making sure your reviews and brand reputation is correct and set up through testimonial tree, like we do on in the web presence level. And then we do more advertising. So like we said, we'll have the Google ad like we will in the web presence. We'll also do up to 3 ad campaigns like we'll do in the social presence. So it's both sides of that. It's got the Google stuff and the website stuff. It's got the social media stuff and the social ad stuff with more ads, with more lead opportunities, and more kind of Google ad stuff there. So it's both sides put together with extra ad campaigns. And then finally, we move over to the premium. Now, the premium is all that with the bag of chips with another bag of chips. So you get 2 bags of chips if you're really, really hungry. But it's the premium level is really, really designed for our luxury designated agents and teams of 3 or more. So the more, we're talking so much here about making sure that we are branding you as the agent and you as the person, not just the properties. And the more people you have on the team, the more we want to make sure that we have the bandwidth to promote those people, the teams of 3+ and those people. So the premium level is, again, it's all of those things with even more advertising built in, more ad spend, more advertising, and focus on the people. So everything we're doing is going to have a luxury social media and luxury website branding spin to it. All the social media postings on Facebook and Instagram, the Google business listing, Google screen, making sure everything is dedicated to luxury, making sure the content is curated luxury. And then we'll do up to 5 ad campaigns per month on Facebook and Instagram, as well as the Google ad campaign. Now, I want to stress something that we say up to 5. I want to make it clear that that does not mean that you should or have to do 5. Even in this market, we have a lot of agents in premium who have a lot of listings and want those advertised. And that's when we'll try to hit those 5 listings every month. But if you don't have 5 listings, 6 listings, it is sort of best practice to actually not do 5, to try to keep it to 3 or 4, because then we're not spreading the budget as much and we have more focused ad campaigns where we can do a much bigger branding campaign about you and the team. Maybe we do 2 or 3 listing campaigns and then one big one about the team. But then we'll deliver up to 40 lead opportunities monthly, again, provided based on listings provided, and then we'll have the Zoom session per month. So these are the different levels, right? You can see all of the line items here. I like to make kind of a disclaimer here that these programs are built very specifically. I have seen I've had agents send me before, absolutely has happened. Well, hey JD, I saw this digital marketing program. Can you take a look at this? Because it looks like the lists are a lot more than what happens in Digital Accelerator. And I've done it before, and I just because I sometimes every once in a while I like to I'll get in a mood where I like to prove a point, and I've printed it off, and I've looked at the list, and I've red markered or I've red penned. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. Point 1 and point 7 are the exact same things. Point 2, 8, and 9 are the exact same things. And my point being, and I'll send it back to the agent. I'll basically like they're basically peacocking it, right? They're taking 6 things and spreading it out to sound like 10 or 11. And if you were to sit down with them and go through each line item, they would not be able to hold their feet. If you were to hold their feet to the fire, they would not be able to tell you what each thing means because they're all the same. What we literally just did is went through line by line and explained what each line item is. So yes, I've seen many programs with longer lists that don't mean anything. And the point of these is not to have the longest list. The point for me is to have a concise list that does what we say it's going to do and grows your business and grows your branding and gets you out in your community. That's what's important to me. Not going, oh, look, we have a whole scroll's worth of things here that you have to, have a football field to length of paper to see what we do in Digital Accelerator. So any questions about the different package levels? The last thing we're going to talk about is the ideal candidate and what's expected from you as an agent and as a collaborator. But any questions about the different levels of Digital Accelerator? No. Okie dokie. Great. Beautiful. Okay. Well, let's do one more section here, guys. What I want to talk about is the ideal candidate. I kind of took it like, who are you ready for DAP? Because one thing that Tracy and I always talk about when Tracy's on these calls a lot of the times, one thing we like to talk about is that this is not a numbers game for us. The last thing that I want to do, last thing Tracy wants to do is get more people in DAP who don't want to be here. So that just, kind of going back to what Randy was saying earlier, if Randy were to call me and say, hey, JD, I've got an agent who I think is going to be great for Digital Accelerator. And I were to call that agent and talk to them for 20 minutes and really just tell by the end of it, like, hey, they're either not ready for it, or they don't think it's going to be a good fit for them, or they can't afford it. I am not going to push them into the program. I'm not going to go, well, just trust me. It's a good time for you to do it. Like that's not what I'm here to do. That's not like who we want in the program are people who want to be here. And there are two very general main categories of people who are great for DAP. There are people who don't know how to do things or don't have time to do things. There are a lot of people who will sit through these who will be on an informational and will say, call me after, or text Tracy or say, hey, I was looking at I was on the DAP informational. I know how to do all those things. I don't think I need DAP. And we'll go, great. That's awesome. That is perfect. Then you don't. And there's nothing wrong with that. That just means it's not good for you, and that's fine. But there are some people who go, this is exactly what I need. I need help with this. I need help with that. This is exactly the sort of program that I need. And we say, awesome, let's do it. So let's kind of go through the ideal candidate for DAP, because in the 3 years we've been doing this, 3 and some change, we've had some amazing success stories, and we've had some times where it doesn't go well, and we've been around the block long enough to know what makes or breaks a solid digital accelerator relationship. So let's kind of go through some of these here. So are you ready for DAP? The ideal candidate. So for social and web presence packages, the ideal candidate has established their social media platforms through Ignite, getting started, or on their own. So basically meaning that you've got your stuff ready to go. And social and web, to Randy's point earlier, these can be ideal for new agents getting ready to begin their digital marketing venture through consistent digital branding campaigns. So basically what this means is that for a while there, we were kind of, I specifically was pretty hesitant to say that DAP was good for new agents, because we just required so much, like, you got to know what's going on in order to work leads and stuff like that. But we've really kind of nurtured the program and kind of molded it to a point where social and web can be great for new agents who are really getting ready to do digital, to start their real estate careers and get out there. It can be a great leg up. For plus and premium packages, though, the ideal candidate has at least 1 year in the business and has listed and sold at least one property successfully. We have had it before. We talk all the time about how leads are not, the National Association of Realtors says that leads can take between 6 to 24 months to fully incubate. They are not always ready right away. We have had agents before say, true story, where an agent once said, hey, I got a listing from, one of my leads is actually ready to sell, but I actually don't know how to write a listing agreement. Do you know how to help me with that? And we were thankfully able to do that, to facilitate that. But that was one of those things where, like, hey, we want to make sure that our agents are prepared to best serve their clients when they get those. So we really think for plus and premium packages specifically, the ideal candidate has been in the business and has listed or sold at least at least one property successfully, just so they have a handle on it. We know that this part right here is hard right now. Has at least one listing, preferably two. I mean, even saying that out loud is hard for me to not laugh at all times. It's a different market right now. But this is the important part here, that these could be your listings or office listings. Meaning that if you go, hey, Randy, I saw that you just listed this property. Would you mind if I use that in Digital Accelerator? I'm going to credit you as the listing agent. I'm going to make sure that you are listed as the agent, but I would love to be able to share that and use that, on social. Anyway, if Randy says yes, awesome. If he says no, then don't do it. But again, we've done this time and time again, that lead gen is heavily reliant on listings. We've tried so many different ways, and we're able to generate leads in other ways. But at the end of the day, listings are the best way to generate leads. If listings are not provided by the agent, our ad campaigns generally focus on branding, and they're super, super successful. Like, I cannot make that clear enough how successful our branding campaigns are. But leads are not a product of that, right? Reach and impressions and clicks and engagement are the products, and they're fantastic. But again, it's going in there with the right expectations. But again, I cannot stress enough that, frankly, to me, those branding campaigns are the bread and butter of what Digital Accelerator is. And this is also a hard part right now. Has the financial ability to commit to at least 6 months in the program. Again, we are very, whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to I'm trying to, I heard some background noise, so I just tried to mute a couple people. We understand how tough the market is right now. And, the last thing we want to do to anybody is hold anybody's feet to the fire. What we do ask is that if you are going to join Digital Accelerator right now, if it's something that you're interested in, is that you come into it with a serious attitude, right? That you don't come in going, I'll try it for a month and see what happens. Because it goes without saying that it takes a lot of time and effort from our team to set up to pour our time and efforts into making sure that everything is set up amazingly for you to give you the best experience. And we want to make sure that you're treating it with the same respect, because our goal is to support you. We love, and I've got a beautiful testimonial here that I love to share. That's one of it, that I'll share in a little bit. It's one of my favorite testimonials to share. But we treat, our goal is to improve your business and to help lead, make your digital marketing just shine. And so, if you're thinking of doing that, we're hoping that you kind of come into it with an attitude of wanting to commit to at least 6 months. We've had agents, like I said, we've had agents in here since day one. We have agents who are still in here over 3 years because of how successful this is and how much this has added to their value proposition as an agent. And I know that it can be the same for you. But yeah, so as much as able to, we all know nothing. We don't know what's going to happen in 2 months, let alone 6. But marketing is a consistent effort. You cannot come into something, try it for a month, and go, "Yep, doesn't work. I'm out." Try for 2 months. Yep, doesn't work. I'm out. I shared a taste of this example earlier, but we had an agent call Tracy about, or actually, she called both of us at first. Tracy called herself later, but emailed both of us. And said about 2 months into DAP and said, "Hey, this isn't really working. I'm not getting the results that I want. I think I want to leave." And the three of us got on the phone, and we said, "Well, we talked about it being 6 month commitment. If you really want to leave, we understand, but we think it'll be worth it if you can wait 4 months." And she goes, "Okay, all right." And we had a good conversation about it. Tracy calls her at the 6 month mark just to check and goes, "Hey, it's been 6 months. How you feeling about DAP?" And the agent laughs and goes, "My ex-husband just called me a couple nights ago and said, I can't get on the internet without seeing you. I see you on Facebook, on Google, on Instagram. How do I make you go away?" And she's been in DAP ever since. It's been almost 2 years now, I believe. I think it's been about 19 or 20 months. And I go, if that's not a good testimonial, I don't know what is. So that consistency is so huge. Is proficient in the tools that help you farm the leads, meaning that, I always tell agents, I like to say that our job is to deliver the leads to you and deliver the digital marketing and execute on the campaigns. It's your job to pick it up from there. We don't touch your email list. We don't touch your clients, your sphere. That's, you're the realtor, you're the licensed agent. We execute the programs, deliver the leads in the funnel. You pick it up from there. And then finally, and we talk about that right here a little bit, actually be able to effectively nurture and develop the unqualified and unscrubbed leads that we deliver, be able to work the sales cycle. But then this is the most important part. We'll collaborate and effectively communicate with your digital marketing specialist and engage with them. This, to me, like I said, this is what has made and broken. Make and break doesn't, making and breaking doesn't work as well, which has made and broken most DAP programs that have not worked. Collaboration is key. When we set meetings, again, I've been in this company for almost 7 years. I know things come up last minute, right? You have a listing appointment that came up that you didn't have 30 minutes ago, right? Things are always going to come up. What we ask is that as best as you can, that you communicate those things with your digital marketer. If you have a meeting, try as best as you can to be at that meeting, and we do the same. We want to deliver. So every monthly meeting, we deliver to you the results that we had. So we say, "Hey, great to see you, Adina. Here are all of the results from last month. Here are the ads that we ran. Here are the monthly results. Here are the year-to-date results. And let's talk about what we're going to do next month." And then you engage with us. We say, "What do you want to do next month?" And if you have ideas, awesome. If you don't, we're going to come up with ideas together. We're going to talk about them and nurture them. But collaborating, telling us, "Hey, this is what I'm thinking," or, "Hey, I saw this. I saw another agent or I saw another blog or whatever do this. I thought that looked really cool." That helped us go, "Great. Let's make something like that for you to make it look the way that you want it to look." So collaboration is key. Communication is key. If you say, "Hey, I want to kind of sign off on everything before you post it," and we say, "That sounds great," and we send you a week's worth of stuff before you sign off, before we post it, you got to make sure that you're communicating back as fast as we can and not waiting 3-4 days, because then we can't post those things without your sign. So communication and collaboration. I know there's such simple values and key parts, but collaboration and communication are absolutely key to making Digital Accelerator work. So this right here is the crux of a powerful working Digital Accelerator program. So that really, again, that's what makes an ideal candidate. That's what the program is. These are our levels. And here's the final thing. Like I said, we are not here to try to make you do it. If you don't want to do it, if now's not a good time, we're not trying to, it's not a numbers game. If you are interested in Digital Accelerator, here's what happens. You go to this page. Again, that's why we've been staying on this page. The DAP program page is the #1 page in the world for Digital Accelerator program. You scroll to the bottom. Why is it at the bottom, JD? Why do you make a scroll? Because then you can't say, oh, I didn't see anything on the page. Yes, it's intentionally at the bottom. Yes, we did it on purpose. No, we're not going to move it. Scroll to the bottom after reading everything, and you fill out this form. Name, email, phone, region, what package you're interested in. And Tracy's going to reach out to you. And what Tracy's going to do is she's going to have essentially an exploratory call and get to know you and make sure that you are a good fit for the program. And she's great. If you talk to her 15, 20 minutes and she thinks that now is not a good time, or maybe you're not a good fit, she'll tell you, she'll go, hey, you know what, JD, I don't think now is a good time for you to do it. I think maybe 6 months from now might be a better time. Maybe I'll call you back then. Or you know what, maybe once you get a couple more listings or get kind of used to this, again, we're not here to force anybody in. And she even jokes, she goes, I try to turn people away because they might not be a good fit. But if you have this conversation and it goes, yes, this is going to be great, I'm ready, you're a great candidate, you need this for your business, it's going to be perfect, then we're going to get you on the spreadsheet, we're going to get you scheduled on a time that works to make sure that we're able to fit you in, so that you are that we have all the time ready to commit to you to bring you into the Digital Accelerator program. So if you're interested, if you think you're ready for it, fill out this form and Tracy will have a conversation with you. And then Tracy and I talk about who's the best person to connect with this person. It's not just down the line. It's not alphabetical. It's not, round robin. It's okay. This person that's coming. Who's going to be a great fit for them? And we have that conversation and connect those dots. Last thing I want to add is I want to share that testimonial I mentioned that I was going to share, because I think what's really fun about this testimonial for me is that I sometimes, sometimes things can get so mechanical in our day-to-days, right? Like, go through the motions or whatever. And this testimonial reminded me about some of and I like to share this one with the team. And I know a couple of team members are on right now, but I like to share this one time from time to time with the team, because this is kind of, it's kind of one of those, like, this is the kind of difference we're making in somebody's day. And this was one from one of our agents down in the Paradise region of Florida. But she said, I'd like to take a moment to extend my gratitude for my Digital Accelerator, Susie. She's been assigned to my program for she's been assigned to my DAP program, and I am now smiling about my marketing campaign again. After just 1 month and 2 meetings, she understands I like to stand out and prefer non-typical advertising. She has taken time to hear about the properties, troubleshoot issues I am having, and most of all, she is creative in her marketing thoughts. Then this weekend, I was having an open house. So before this weekend, Susie went an extra step to make sure I had a campaign out for the weekend. What a professional. And this is the key. This is the part I love the most. I am finally excited again about my marketing and looking forward to what fun and effective items we can come up with over the next year. Thank you, Tracy, for your efforts to assign the right person for my marketing vision. Please thank Susie for taking my programs into your heart. So that to me was what made this really cool, is that I'm finally excited about my marketing again. That to me is something that you don't hear all the time. And reminded me and our team that, like, we get to go, hey, this cool website, this cool social media, this cool ad campaign, this is yours. This is what you are being seen, how you are being seen in the market. And I think that's really, really cool. So any last questions before we wrap up about Digital Accelerator, about the levels, anything at all? Okay. Well, hey, thank you guys for your time. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. If you do have questions, you know where to find me and follow up. But have a great rest of your day, rest of your week, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.